Hi everybody, I hope you're having a fabulous day. So today we're going to take a look at some vintage and antique jewelry pieces that I've picked up recently and have been adding to my collection. Some of these were picked up in my local antique shop, some I found in a resale shop, as well as online. And then some of these I actually have had in my jewelry stash for a while, and I recently went back through it and sort of rediscovered some items that I kind of missed the first time around. So we're going to get started. Let's see, where should we start? Maybe I'll start with this piece because I absolutely love it. Here we have a Goldfield Victorian photo brooch, and the fabulous thing about this is that it is double-sided, and it is a swivel brooch. And as you can see, it looks like this catch has been replaced. There certainly was a repair done here, which is unfortunate, but I don't really mind it because it just means that this piece is wearable and isn't going to break anytime soon. But as you can see, you have this double-sided kind of couples photograph. We have our gentleman here in his bow tie, and then our lady here, and she is wearing quite a bit of jewelry. She has a very interesting expression on her face, but she's wearing 3 or 4 different necklaces and some beautiful drop earrings, and I just thought this was fabulous. This is glass. We have the tube hinge and obviously our replacement catch there. And the front side has some really beautiful pieces around the frame. But yeah, I just thought this was super cool. I loved the fact that it's reversible on this swivel, and I just absolutely love it. So this is going into my little Victorian jewelry collection that I'm building. And a piece that I picked up from the same seller, this was an online purchase, and the same seller actually had this ring for sale, and they had it marked as silver with an unknown red stone. And if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know I've been picking up a lot of this type of glass recently. So this is actually Dragon's Breath glass, and you can see that beautiful blue shift as I kind of move it around in the light here. And look how fabulous this floral filigree work is in the setting. It's stunning. I love this ring. I was so happy when it arrived that it was in fact Dragon's Breath, because again, from photos, you can't always tell, and they definitely didn't have it marked as such, so I got this for a bargain, and it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Will be going into my Dragon's Breath glass collection for sure. Amazing. Okay, and next, this is a really beautiful old bracelet that I found in a resale shop. And if you take a closer look here, one of the things that sold me on it were these little dragons or griffins on all 4 corners here. They are so cool. And this bracelet does need to be cleaned up a little bit, but I've just not done that yet. I've just kind of left it as I found it. And it opens here with this push-in closure. You've got these really beautiful faux stones, meant to look like jade and carnelian and some faux pearls. And it does have a safety chain. And I actually was watching Vintage Variety. She has a YouTube channel here, and she knows a lot about vintage pieces. And she was sharing her vintage bracelet collection, and she actually has this exact piece, which I thought was very interesting. And I left a comment on that video, and she was kind enough to share with me that she believes it, based on her research, to potentially be an unsigned Hobe, possibly something that was part of a set or would have had a paper tag. I've also seen people mention that this could be Niger Brothers, or Niger Brothers. I've heard it pronounced both ways. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly the maker. I think Hobe makes sense, but I can't say for sure. It's really, really beautiful though, and I absolutely love little dragons and griffins around it. That really got me when I found this in that little shop. So yeah, I love this. Love the look of it. In that same little shop, they had a tray of rings, and I thought this was just so sweet. We have some guilloche type enamel on the front, and the ring is marked sterling on the inside. So we have a sterling and enamel floral, just a really beautiful, sweet design. I love this. As I was going back through my jewelry stash, I found this piece, which has a similar look. We have that floral enamel and some open silver tone filigree. I'm gonna have to test this. I remember believing that it was not sterling when I originally found it, but I will test it again because it's got a very similar aesthetic to the way that that enameling is done. So cute. I really, really like these pieces. Very feminine. Now this piece has sort of a similar aesthetic in that we have a beautiful floral painting here. And this brooch I found at my antique store, and I believe this to be Canateel silver, so spun silver around the frame here, and I think this is ceramic, most likely, or porcelain. It is glazed on the back. Typically when I find ceramic, it'll be glazed on the front and then unglazed on the back, so it's easy to tell. But this is glazed on both sides. And you have this really beautiful floral scene. I just thought it was gorgeous. And the prices at my antique store are fabulous, as I've mentioned before. So I did grab this one. It was not marked as sterling, but I do believe that it is. So beautiful. And then these were in a little thrift store. These were $1, and I definitely recognized them as Bakelite. I think this is the creamed spinach color. You guys will have to let me know if that is correct. But I did test them with semi-chrome, and they are in fact Bakelite. Just some great kind of button-shaped stud earrings. Gorgeous coloring. I love them. Now, this piece is interesting to me. So this is something that I've actually had in my jewelry stash for over a year. And when I first got this ring, you can see that it's very out of shape, but it was actually completely squished, almost as if someone had stepped on it. I just assumed that this was costume. And then as I was going back through my jewelry stash, I pulled this out and took a closer look at it. And I think that this is probably gold filled, or potentially like 9-karat gold. And I think that this is a carved coral cameo. When I first found this, I assumed it was resin, and this is a really good example of why I don't really sell pieces yet. I'm kind of in my collecting stage because I'm really learning about vintage and antique jewelry. I've collected jewelry for a long time, but really more modern pieces, and specifically Tiffany & Company pieces. That's where a lot of my knowledge is. So you know, as I learn about vintage and antique, maybe I'll get a little more comfortable and be able to let some of these pieces go and start selling some of them. You know, you can't keep everything, but this is a great example of why I just kind of hold on to things when I'm not sure, because I learn more and more all the time. You guys are so helpful in the comments and letting me know certain pieces and sharing your knowledge with me, and just from watching other sellers here on YouTube, it's really, really beautiful. I did do an acetone test. No color came off of it, which I know is indicative of a dyed coral. I will need to do more research, but I would love to know your thoughts on this. But I think she's gorgeous. I'm glad that I held on to her and didn't, you know, let it go, just not knowing what it was and selling it as costume, because I think she is quite old and might be real. So she's fabulous. And then I found this really beautiful fur clip at the antique store. We've got these gorgeous bezel set, purple glass stones in this sort of floral bouquet almost. To me, this has a very Art Nouveau look to the design. You can see that there is a bit of leftover polishing and a little bit of verdigris. Clearly a dealer had tried to polish this with what looks like silver paste to me. And then you have this gorgeous etched clip on the back, which I think did have gilt on it, because you can see on the underside here it still has some of that gold. So probably it just has worn off with time, but really gorgeous. I thought this was stunning. It was only a few dollars at my antique store, and I thought it was worth saving. And I'm going to try to clean up some of that polishing paste there, but really, really beautiful. I love the glass stones here. I also picked up this brooch at my antique store. I just thought the cobalt blue color of this stone was so beautiful. And I think this is just a glass rhinestone, faceted, and it is marked West Germany on the back here, Western Germany. Really, really beautiful. I just thought this large blue stone was gorgeous. So I did grab this one, again for a few dollars. Also in that same case, same dealer's booth, I found this gorgeous, very long and thin pin. If you look at the patina on the back here, I believe it is sterling, at least the actual brooch part. I think this pin may not be. This might just be a base metal of some kind. And we have these gorgeous square cut sapphire. I'm sure they are faux sapphire, and these little white stones here, but I do believe that this is sterling, and I think it's really beautiful. So I was happy to grab this for a few dollars as well. So pretty. And now this piece came out of a jewelry jar And we are missing a few of the rhinestones, but it is an older celluloid brooch. Here's what the back looks like. Bit dirty, needs to be cleaned. I just thought it was cool. I have a few of these really ornate celluloid pieces. I have a few bangle bracelets and a few brooches, so I thought I would add this to my collection of those older celluloid plastic pieces. Really beautiful. And I will replace these rhinestones. They're just kind of classic clear rhinestones. I'm sure I have those in my stash somewhere. And in that same jewelry jar, I just thought this was very interesting. This has a very like mod, almost deco feel to me. And I think this is celluloid as well. And it has an older C-clasp and pin on it. So I've never really seen anything quite like this before. Maybe some of you watching have more knowledge and maybe have seen something similar and could help me date it. But my first impression is that it looks very deco. You've got these iridescent sort of circle designs here. They almost look like moons or planets to me. They're just really cool, really, really interesting brooch. There's some discoloration happening, but thought it was worth saving. Yeah, I just wanted to learn more about it. We have another brooch here, which is gold tone and these beautiful orange-yellow rhinestones. Here's what the back of that looks like. It's just in beautiful condition. Thought I would pick that one up. It's got a nice three-dimensional setting to it. Really, really beautiful. I also found these gorgeous carved tiger's eye drop earrings. They've got these little spiral carved genuine tiger's eye stones, and these are actually gold filled. So on the back bead here, it is marked 14 karat gold filled. And these, I think these were $2. So I just couldn't leave them there because look how beautiful these stones are on a gold filled post. Just so gorgeous. Was really happy to find these. Not sure how old they are. Probably not too old, but maybe vintage. I love them though. Then I grabbed this pair of earrings, but these are really beautiful reverse painted roses under this bezel set piece of glass. I think this is called Goofus glass. So let me know if that's correct, if you recognize these. I just thought they were really beautiful. I loved the domed glass. They're a nice big size and they're in really great condition. They've got kind of an iridescence to them as well. Next we have this Trifari brooch. So we have a brushed gold tone with these beautiful white rhinestones in this floral design. This really nice smooth finish backing, which I think is indicative of a little bit older piece. Some of the newer ones have that sort of textured backing, and that is the Trifari marking there. So beautiful. I thought that was in nice condition. Nice big size. Yeah, and then I found this bracelet, which is not in the best condition, but it was marked down. And I just really, really like these gold-filled expansion bracelets. This one is personalized, does say Julia, and it looks like we're missing the back panel to this bracelet here. I know that these are called sweetheart bracelets, and they were popular throughout a few different time periods, starting in the Victorian period and throughout World War II, if I'm not mistaken. So not sure exactly when this one is from. Not in the best condition, but I thought it was beautiful and worth saving. So I don't know anything about these pieces, but I just thought they were so fun. These were just in a giant bin of pins and brooches and tie tacks and things, and I pulled them out. And unfortunately, one of them here, its little beak has broken off, but I just couldn't separate them. Obviously, they go together. They're the same body and head, and look how silly and fun this little tube nose beak is. I just thought he was kind of hilarious and sweet and charming. You've got this almost thermoset, like iridescent lucite. And here's what the pin looks like. I also thought that this looked quite old in terms of the construction here. To me, these look artisan made. I don't know. I need to do some more research on them. If you've ever seen this type of piece or know anything more about it, please let me know. Again, I think it's sad that our little beak is broken off of one of them here, but I still thought he was worth saving. So interesting. These were just a few bucks, and I just thought they were cool. I couldn't leave them there. I also picked up these little glass beaded bracelets. These were $1. And this one, I just loved these beads here. I mean, look, the inside is a different color. You've got the white, the green, the blue, and the very inside piece is like a deep purple. So beautiful. And then we have these light blue, larger round beads. And then this piece, I really loved this multicolor glass here. And then this one I thought was an amethyst, but it might be a dyed just quartz, but just a variety of different stones. Obviously someone put this together. And what's interesting is we do have some uranium glass. This one fluoresces, and actually all of the little multicolor glass here has tiny flecks of uranium glass in it. If you see those little white kind of specks throughout, those actually fluoresce. So there is some uranium pieces in this bracelet. Surprisingly, this piece does not glow, but this bead does, and all of the little multicolor ones do as well. So I just thought that was interesting. I was happy to find that out when I got home. So this is so gorgeous. So here we have a jade hand-knotted beaded necklace with a 14 karat gold clasp. It is marked here on the catch here. And it's just so beautiful. They had this for $25 at my antique store. And I thought that was just an incredible price. I, again, couldn't leave it there. And I don't know much about jade. I know that there is many different types of jade, quality, etc. But this is so beautiful. The color is pretty even. It's a nice deep green. So I'll have to do more research in terms of value, but so gorgeous, and it just feels nice. It has that beautiful sound. It's cold. It's so smooth. Just stunning. I thought for $25, you really can't go wrong. Just gorgeous. This next piece was actually $6, and I grabbed it because I figured whether it was glass or stone or something else, $6 seemed like a great price. And originally I thought it was glass, but now I'm wondering if it's maybe a stone, citrine, because there's not bubbles in this. So, you know, I'm not sure. I really do need to get a gem tester. Either way, just really beautiful, deep, sort of amber yellow colored, citrine colored, either glass or gemstone. Really, really beautiful. We have an older brass tone spring ring clasp. I just really liked it. I loved the color and thought that was worth picking up. Next, we have a few Victorian Watch Fobs. I'm gonna set them both out here. So I grabbed these. I've been grabbing Victorian gold-filled fobs and necklaces and pieces whenever I see them. So this first one here, I absolutely love. It's so beautiful. Even the chain has some etching on the links. And then you have this gorgeous citrine colored faceted stone at the end. And I don't know if this is glass or genuine stone. Would have to do some more research on it, but it's just so beautiful. We have our little clasp, and I thought this was interesting. So this one does say hard to break on the lobster claw here. I just thought that was very, very interesting. I don't know if that's a personalized engraving. This one is also engraved on the back here. F-E-W, I believe, or maybe it's E-E-W. Hard to tell, but really, really cool. I just really, really liked it, and I loved the end piece here. And then we have this other one that is a little simpler. We have a mesh chain. We do have a little end piece here, and then this little bar is etched, the pretty little design there. So I just think that these are interesting. They're a piece of history, and I do grab them when I find them. I believe them both to be gold-filled. I found this little lacquer painted box here, and I just thought that was beautiful. And then inside here, we have a few butterfly wing charms and pendants, and I grabbed these from Sandra over at the Funky Pickle Thrifter. I like to shop her channel when she has sales videos. So she sold these in lots. This first one here is sterling. And we have that classic tropical scene with the morpho butterfly wing in the back. And then we have this one, which is just a silver tone, but also with the tropical scene. I believe these two were sold together. And then these two I thought were really cool. I think they're just silver tone as well, not sterling. But these, so we have a pine tree and we have the palm tree there. But what I think is so fun is that these are actually reversible. And this one has a little flamingo, which I absolutely love. That's the piece I love the most. And then our palm tree on the back. So these are going into my butterfly wing collection. I just love these. I think they're kind of kitschy, kind of fun, really, really cool, and really beautiful. This flamingo one, I absolutely love. So charming. And actually, I could just share this really beautiful vintage photo. So this was thrown in with my purchase. The seller just added this into the bundle, and I'm sorry for the reflection here, but isn't she fabulous? She's so, so beautiful. So this was just a little freebie with purchase. Gorgeous. I'll definitely be keeping her and displaying her with some of my vintage and antique jewelry. I did also find this bangle at that antique store. It was only $1, so I did kind of take a chance on it. I thought it had the potential to be Bakelite or maybe even amber, and I did do a few different tests and I'm still not sure. So if any of you watching have any advice for me or tips, please let me know. So I did do a semi-chrome test on this, and the semi-chrome isn't coming up yellow. It comes up more of like a really dark brown. It's not a result that I've seen with other Bakelite. To me, I didn't think that that was coming up as a positive result. This does fluoresce under black light, so I thought maybe, hey, maybe this is amber. But I did do the saltwater test and it does not float. So I'm getting really mixed results, and I'm just not sure what this is. There's no seam marks, so it's not just like your typical molded plastic. It does have that sort of sticky feel, which is why I thought it could be amber. But it only has a few little air bubbles. Most of the amber I find has quite a bit of air pockets in it. You can see those little pieces that sort of reflect the light. This one is fairly clear. So, you know, I really don't know. It could just be some sort of resin that has some sort of UV or fluorescent material in it. I'm just not sure. So if anyone watching has any idea, I would love to be able to confirm what this piece is, since I'm getting really mixed results. But again, it was only $1, so I thought it was worth taking the risk to learn and do some tests on it. But yeah, really beautiful bangle nonetheless. I think it looks really cool stacked with other pieces. I have a number of lucite and vintage plastic and Bakelite bangles. So this will be going into that collection. Okay, so I think that is everything on this tray here. Let me know what your favorite pieces were, or if you have any more information for me about any of these pieces. I love to learn, always learning. I think this swivel brooch is one of my favorites from this haul. They're so beautiful. I love antique photos, and what a cool way to display antique photos. Just really, really beautiful. So this is a favorite. Of course, the Dragon's Breath, especially because this was such a steal. So gorgeous. Absolutely love that. The jade was fabulous. I love the Victorian pieces, obviously. Yeah, honestly, I love them all. The butterfly wing pieces. I really do just love jewelry. But those were sort of the standouts for me. Also, kind of rediscovering this ring that I need to do a little more research on. But she's gorgeous, and I do hope that she's real coral. I think she might be. So yeah, thank you so much for taking a look through this jewelry haul with me. I will be back soon with a video focused a little more on a particular designer who designed for Tiffany & Company, a little more history and research about design and jewelry. So if that sounds interesting, please stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with that video very soon. I'm in the process of filming that one. So yeah, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.